Ramblin Man here. I decided to do a second video tonight. I did one earlier about packing clothes and stuff, and sorry about the shade here, but the lighting is terrible, and that's okay. I really wanted to talk about my life a little bit, tell you a little bit about myself. So let me tell you about how I am right now. I'm 5'9". I weigh about 220, 225, okay? When I graduated high school, I weighed 125. I was a twig. Now, that was my life for most of my early life. I was little, real little. Like, I remember being in 7th grade, and I was one of the smallest people in my class. I believe I was like second smallest person. I was 4'8" in 7th grade. I loved to play football, and I could throw good for someone that was basically, I was so little. I mean, I wasn't getting, 20 yards on a ball, and that was about it. Because my hands were little too, so it was terrible. So I just grew up feeling not very confident because I always felt like I was undersized. Everyone was bigger than me, and I didn't feel like I didn't mature until later. So even playing baseball through high school, and I started playing in college, I did much better. And after college, high school and college, I did even better because I matured later. So the reason I tell you this is because, I wanted you to understand it took a long time for me to look at myself as a normal sized person. And that sounds silly, but I always felt like everyone's bigger than me because I was so small for so long. But I'm not that small. I mean, I'm 5'9". It's not like I'm huge, but I'm not a little guy. And what I'm here to tell you right now is if you have a child that is small in stature, tell them don't worry about it. I mean, it's easy to say, but if you want to say, I know people, then you can say you know people. So mine went kind of like this. I never really gained weight until after my sophomore year in college is when I got about 145 pounds. I was 20 pounds heavier than when I graduated high school. Then I went in the Army when I was 25, went to 170, and you just gain weight. And a lot of that was muscle at the time. So it feels good. And once you start maturing, it happens, and everybody does it at different rates. So I'm here to tell you, if your child is dealing with being small in stature, don't think that they don't feel that, okay? To joke about them, hey, little midget and stuff like that. You might say things like that, not meaning things, because you're just joking around, but it does take a toll on them. So what I'm going to tell you is it's okay to joke, and they're okay with that, because I dealt with that. But also it's good to sit them down and say, look, I joke around and stuff, but the time will come for you. You will grow, and you will be bigger, and you will mature, and everyone does it at different stages. And what I found was, as I went out of high school, I came back, and people that were, skinny and thin and stuff had gained weight. They got bigger, but I was a smaller, which was good because I was like it should be. I was in shape. I was that kind of thin, not too skinny. But just sit down with your child, or friends, or anyone that has an issue with stature, and tell them that doesn't matter. People don't look at you and say, that guy's little. Once you're out of the stage of school, the school ages and stuff, at that point, it's more about your character and who you are and what you do that make you the person you are. It's not your height. It's not your weight. And if you're overweight, you know what? People are going to love you for who you are. If you're overweight today and you're having an issue with that, and you want to work on it, work on it. If you don't, then don't. Be the best person you can be that makes you happy. But don't beat yourself up, and don't do things in regard to like eating or not eating because you feel like somebody wants you to. Do it for you. I just at one point sat down and said, you know what? I'm going to be taller than this. I'm not going to be short my whole life. And I was pushing for 6 foot. Didn't make it. My son, however, because on my mom's side, she has taller brothers and things, he is 6 foot tall, right at it, right about there. So he towers over me, and I'm like, man, I'm still the short guy. But you know what? I'm happy, and I always wanted him to be better and have it better than what I had. So remember, tell your kids what they mean to you. Let them know that it won't always be this way. It's a short time. It's just a short time that they have to deal with something like this. Like, short in stature doesn't mean that you can't be strong or tall in other areas. And when I say that, I mean there is brain power. There are people that are just amazing. You look at people like Spud Webb, 5'5", and he's able to dunk the ball and he plays in the NBA. Don't ever let anybody tell your child or someone else that they can't do something. I had to work for everything I wanted to do because I was small and I had to work at it. But you know what? That's okay. It taught me a lot of valuable lessons. Just remember, you are a big factor in your child or your friend's life or your family member's life. Anyone that is feeling low, and even though they may not feel like you may not feel like they're, taking it hard and having a hard time, if they're short or anything like that, sit down and say, you know what, you're special to me because your character is stronger than it doesn't matter how tall someone else is. They're a piece of trash. Your heart is golden. Your heart is so pure and awesome, and just people light up when you come in the room because you are much bigger than what your stature is telling you. So I just want to leave that with you and let you know, hey, you know what? You're as big as you think you are. So go out there and just let yourself shine. Don't worry about being little. It's not that bad. Love you guys. Ramblin' Man out.